Tuck Everlasting is the story of a man's desire to overcome the cycles of life and mortality. Winnie Foster is the heroine in the story. She is the only child of a well-to-do family that has lived a very proper, safe, and protected life. Winnie has resented the protection and wants desperately to explore the outside world and her own freedom. One day she decides to explore the wood, which was part of her family's property. During her journey, she comes across a boy. Jesse Tuck, the youngest of the Tuck children, is supposedly a 17-year-old boy. Later we find out that he is actually 104 years old. Winnie is instantly infatuated with Jesse and falls in love. The hot August sun made her thirsty as she approached the spring to take a sip. Jesse quickly tells her not to drink the water. He doesn't want to reveal the family secret. Jesse gives Winnie a small amount of the special water for later. Jesse's mother, May, and brother Miles see the interaction between the two and realize that they have to take Winnie back to their home in the wood and reveal their secret, insisting that she never tell a soul. Jesse tells her it would be okay if she came back and had a drink when she was 17, at which time she could live in immortality with him. The man in the yellow suit is the antagonist in the story. He has lived in Tree Gap his whole life, and his mother told him stories about a family that lived forever. He doubted the truthfulness of the story, but continued to seek out its origins years later. He followed Winnie into the wood one day and heard the conversations between Winnie and the Tucks. The man in the yellow suit figured that the secret to immortality was a sure way of making a large profit. He stole the Tucks' horse and reported back to the Fosters of the whereabouts of their missing daughter. In exchange for her safety, he was guaranteed title to the wood and ultimately the spring of immortality as well. The man in the yellow suit told the constable about the Tucks kidnapping Winnie. The two men went into the wood to find Winnie and bring her back to safety. Upon seeing the man in the yellow suit, May Tuck realized that the secret would get out. She quickly picked up a gun and swung it into the side of his head, killing him. The constable witnessed all of this and had May arrested for murder and sentenced to hang on the gallows. The toad plays an important role in the story, as it always seems to be wherever Winnie is. While contemplating immortality, Winnie watched in horror as a dog was about to eat the toad one day. In a desperate attempt to save its life, she poured the magical water onto the toad, giving it immortality. The toad is the symbolic character in the story, as it represents the metamorphosis of the cycle of life. Many years later, May and Angus Tuck returned to Tree Gap and noticed how things had changed so drastically since their last appearance. The once small town had been developed, had cars and streetlights, and the normal hustle and bustle of a busy suburban area. They went to the local cemetery and noticed a gravesite with Winnie Foster's name on it. She had died only 2 years earlier, having lived a very long and prosperous life herself. Angus smiled as he realized that Winnie decided that living a good life was better than living forever. A toad appeared near the grave, but the Tucks didn't realize that it was the very same one from many years earlier.